she wrote it in Yiddish, und der Sonn hat gescheint. The sun kept shining. She's in Bergen-Belsen in January, maybe February 1945. And out of one of the barracks, she hears a voice that evokes a memory from her past. It's a woman's voice, it's exceedingly faint, and the woman is chanting in a traditional melody that she, Berta, learned, but forgot, because she went on to other things. And the melody is, the words are, Gott von Avram und Yitzchak und von Yaakov, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I know the melody myself, or at least a similar melody, because I heard it from my mother. And so I can evoke perhaps something of what it sounded like. Gott von Avram und Yitzchak und von Jakob, behit dein Volk Israel von allen Besen in deinem Leib. As der lieber Shabbos Kodesh geht weg, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, protect your people Israel from all harm in the coming week. The Sabbath is leaving. And Berta hears this, and she can't believe it. She's taken back to her childhood when her mother held her on her arms, and she remembers the sun setting. And she's drawn to this, and she finds this woman. Finally, she finds the barracks, and the woman is more dead than alive, complete skeleton, the sunken eyes. And she says, what are you doing? And she says, it's Shabbos, it's the end of Shabbos, and I'm chanting Gott von Avram, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the memoirist, Berta, says, thank you for telling me that today is Saturday. How did you know today is Saturday? Because time was erased. And the woman said, when I got here, I saw immediately what was going to happen to us. And the first day, I tied a little knot on my neckline. It was just rags, but she tied a knot, and the next day, and the next day. And so she was able to keep the count. And Bertha said, thank you so much for reminding me. I'm going to come next week at this very time. I want to say Gott von Avram with you. She came a week later. The place in the barracks was taken by someone else. The woman had already died. Now, at this point in the memoir was translated into English. The title is, And the Sun Kept Shining. And she says, Das Kol hat man schon mehr nicht gehört. Es ist verstummt geworden, der Sogen Gott von Avram. I no longer heard the sound. That voice of Gott von Avram was silenced, was stilled. And that's where the English translation stops. But as my friend Alan Rosen, who sits there, pointed out to me, the Yiddish goes on. There's one more sentence. The sentence is, aber in mir lebt es und ich will, als soll in mir keinmal nicht eingestillt werden. It's still alive in me. And it's my will that this never be stilled, never be silenced in me. She takes this on. Perhaps she takes this on as a weekly practice. And the most important word in this memoir for me is aber, but. And that's left out of the English, and it's only there if you look at the Yiddish. Because what the memoirist is saying is that she is lifting up this person. We don't know her name, She never found out the woman's name. I would call her der Tzadekes von Gott von Avram, the righteous woman of God of Abraham. And she is carrying forward the memory. Now, we've heard a lot about getting the history right. I believe in that fervently. But I submit that we are engaged, certainly in Jewish education, in memory. I look at the banner. I look at the central photo, what in the newspaper business would be called above the fold, at the very top. And you see a young girl placing a lit Yortzeit candle at the names of the destroyed cities. We are concerned with memory. And it's not just about memory. You know, we talk about nostalgia. Nostalgia has a bad name. Originally, nostalgia was a medical diagnosis. It meant a disease of displacement. But this is more than any of that. It's more than memory. It's remembering the dismembered. It's putting a face on those who have been effaced. It's restoring the erasure. This is the sacred task of Jewish education. In the face of everything we know, in the face of the fact that God seemed to have abandoned everyone, in the face of the worst hester panim, the hiding of the divine face, we can say adarabah. Despite that, or maybe because of that, we choose to affirm life and values and faith in humanity and faith in the transcendence and faith in this great and noble tradition that still has meaning and that gives us a sense of our past, guideposts for the present, and a vision for the future. That is the aber. That is the adarabah. That is the despite everything and because everything, we move forward. This is not an evasion of the core. I would argue this is the core of the core. If the core has a heart, this is the heart of the core. Thank you.